Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to a new episode of my weekly gaming playlist series. Now I did change the title to add gaming into my weekly playlist series, as I thought that maybe new people to my channel might not know what my channel is about, and so they can see that it's about video games and gaming, and so that's why I decided to add that into the title. It is Friday, so that means it's time for me to let you guys know about the games I've been playing during the week, give you guys my thoughts on them, my opinions. Of course, I want to hear your guys' thoughts and your opinions as well. Also, let me know about the games you guys are playing, as that gives me ideas of new games to play and check out. And if you guys have a recommendation on a game you think I might enjoy, let me know, as I'm always looking for new games to play and experience. So I've got one game to share with you guys, and it's for the Xbox Series X. It actually just came in this week. Have an absolute blast with it, and that is the Dead Space remake. An amazing game. A remake of the classic 2008 Dead Space. So let me read you guys some stuff from the back. Humanity ends here. Immerse yourself in sci-fi horror. Explore a stunning setting full of unpredictable, intense moments. Unravel the USG Ishimura mystery. Uncover the dark secrets behind the events aboard the ship. Improvise to survive. Utilize your tools to strategically defeat enemies with precision. The sci-fi survival horror classic Dead Space returns, completely rebuilt from the ground up to offer a deeper and more immersive experience. Explore the deep space mining ship, the USG Ishimura, as engineer Isaac Clarke. What starts as a routine repair mission quickly turns into a battle for survival as the truth behind the horrors on board begin to unravel. So, really awesome game. I'm having a lot of fun with it, so let's check it out. Hey guys, Sleepy here, and today we're taking a look at the Dead Space remake that was just released here in January of 2023. Really awesome game. I finally got this in from Gamefly at the beginning of the week. Really love this game so far, having a blast with it, as I was a huge fan of the original Dead Space. It was released in 2008 on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Loved that game, beat it multiple times. Absolutely loved the whole concept and everything about the necromorphs and the story, and how it was a lot different when I played that compared to other horror games. You know, you don't go for headshots because it does nothing, and you have to actually dismember the necromorph creatures. And I thought it was such a neat and unique gameplay concept, so it was really awesome. And then when I heard that they were doing a remake of the original Dead Space, I knew I definitely wanted to get it. But I had to wait for Gamefly to get a copy, as it's, whenever there's new games released, if you don't have it like locked in there, it can be kind of hard to get it. Plus, I knew that if I bought it from Gamefly, I'll be able to get it used at a great price. And I actually got this for $25, but I had a $5 off coupon, so it only actually cost me 20 bucks. Now, I did want to let you guys know this is only for 9th gen consoles and PC, so you can get it on the computer, Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5. It's not on Xbox One. It's not on PS4. So let's check it out. Right off the bat, look how fast the game loads right into the save file. Like 3 seconds. It's like, boom, you're right in. That's something that's really great about these modern consoles, is how quickly the games load with the new HDs that they, hard disks, the hard drives they have in them. Really awesome. I did buy the $10 digital deluxe upgrade so that I could get the different suits, which this is one of them, which is sweet. It makes Isaac look like a necromorph. As you can see, his body's all falling apart. It's really cool, just cosmetics, but I saw this one and a few others in there, and I figured, you know, since I got the game for 20 bucks, why not spend another $10 and get the extra, all those extra suits and stuff. Really good. Man, the visuals are absolutely stunning in this. Especially compared to the old one in 2008, which I thought the 2008 one looked amazing. but I saw some comparison videos and it was like, wow, it's like night and day with how much the lighting and ray tracing and everything they do. I mean, it looks just beautiful. Graphics for the game are. Now this is a remake and not a remaster. Now there is a difference because whenever they remaster a game, they literally just, it's the same exact game, they port it over to the newer consoles and they just upgrade the visuals. They might tweak a little bit of the gameplay, but that's all they do. Now this was completely rebuilt from the ground up with a whole new engine, graphics and everything. It does keep the basic overall story arc of the original Dead Space, but it does add some stuff in and take some things away. It does change a few of the characters. One of the biggest things is Isaac actually talks now, because they got the actor from the Dead Space 2 and 3 to return as Isaac. And they changed his model to look more like the actor himself. That's something I've been seeing a lot they've been doing lately in these kind of games, is they're actually starting to model the characters off of the voice actors so that it looks more natural when they are speaking. Really good. You can see Isaac looks just very good, detailed graphics. Really awesome. Another major change about this game is that there are the main story objectives you go through, but there are side missions that you can tackle if you want. Another big one is, if you guys have played the original, you remember that at the end of every level, every chapter, you would get out to the tram and it would take you to the next chapter, and once you went to the new chapter, you could not go back to your areas you were before. There's a couple times the story would bring you back there, but you could not take yourself back there. If you missed any of the collectibles, any of the secrets, you were shit out of luck, and you'd have to do it in a new game. Plus, this one, you don't use the tram, so you actually can go back at any time you want and backtrack to previous areas you've been to and explore areas you might have missed. Also, there are areas that are now locked doors through a security code, where you have to have a security clearance that you get later in the game. So you actually might have to backtrack to a previous area to unlock a door, which this one I don't think is one, but it could be. But you would come up to it and it would say security clearance not available. So you might have to later on get that code, come back here, open the door, and find out what secrets are hiding in it, which I think is great. So you can go back and explore areas you missed. They still have the good old store again, where you can buy stuff. The inventory, his storage is here, is where I have all the different suits. Like, they even put in a cool classic suit from Dead Space 1, the original, which is really cool. Everybody gets that. And then these are the different suits that I got. The infested suit, that's the one I'm wearing. Different kind of suits you can get. Of course, there are suits you can unlock. Another difference, too, is the power nodes that you have in this game are used only for upgrading. In the original Dead Space, you use the power nodes to unlock certain doors and stuff. They changed that to the security clearance part, which is great because it puts it for upgrading your weapon. Also, there are 6 levels of suits to upgrade, just like the original Dead Space. However, instead of only having 25 inventory slots, you actually can get up to 30 now, which is 5 extra, which you can see here's all the different ones. You have your classic plasma cutter weapon that I have, you have your credits and stuff, and you have a similar menu system that actually is displayed by that little rig from his chest, which is cool. You have the map. You can zoom in and out and see all the different areas that he's been through, which is cool. And then you can zoom in and find stuff, and it'll tell you like areas that were locked and like where special certain areas are and stuff. And there are things you may miss, like see this room here. I think that's one of the ones that was locked, but there's a room or two that was locked that I need to come back to later and unlock them with, and then I'll show you obviously where you're at. You have your missions, so your overall mission, what I'm working on currently, and then over there's where you have your side missions, where you can do side content, and then this is the database for the different chapters that'll actually keep track of the audio logs and stuff that you collect as you play. So let's get to a battle. Another thing too that was really sweet. So you have your workbenches just like the original one, where you can upgrade like your suit, and you can see you have your health, your oxygen, your kinesis throw damage, stasis energy, stasis duration, kinesis grab range, and then you have the stasis zone, and then you can upgrade, obviously, you can upgrade your plasma cutter, which I got some of the damage and capacity upgraded because, you know, these necromorphs are tough, and so you definitely want to upgrade when you can, but you got to balance how much you have your health and how much you have for your weapons, which there is a huge variety of weapons in the game as well, but I've always been a big fan of the plasma cutter. Another thing too is I noticed is the AI is a lot smarter than it was in the 2008 version. I just got done here before I say fighting 5 of these big enemies, and just like in the other original Dead Space, you know, you can stomp on enemies to get their items they drop, and then you can also pick up their limbs and use as weapons, which is sweet. Another thing I noticed too with the AI is I had a bunch of them chasing me, and I ran into a room, and they were smart enough to jump in the vent and come into the room I was and bust out, but I was waiting for them and blasted them because I had set it up. But it's really cool to see that the necromorphs will chase you in certain sections of the ship, and will try to chase you down, and anywhere there are exposed
security clearance required.
There's one of those things that's talking about a security clearance. So I have to come back later with security clearance to unlock this storage area, which who knows has what, who knows what's in it. But I like that they will pursue you, so it's really cool. And then you, just like the original Dead Space, you know, you can hold down the right stick in, and it'll tell you where to go. Now, what was cool when I first actually played this, in the settings, is it was actually set with this different style that the new game had. So buttons were doing different things, and I wasn't used to it. And I'm like, man, I'm used to playing the old Dead Space games where the right trigger does this, you know, right bumper does this. So you can actually change it from a custom one to the default for the new game, or you can have Dead Space 2 or Dead Space 1. So really cool. They have the modern Dead Space controls. You can indicate controls that were remapped, Dead Space 1 or 2. And so I'm just keeping it on Dead Space 2 because I was having a little hard time playing this at the beginning when I was first controlling it, just because I was so used to the old control style. So it's really cool that they have that. You can adjust different graphics and stuff. Of course, if you have the PC, you have a lot more things you can manipulate, but still really good. Another thing too that I had learned about is that this game has like a dynamic difficulty setting when it comes to the necromorphs, and there's all kinds of different things that they can pick from to challenge you, and so they will it'll affect the AI's behavior depending on how well you're doing. If you're struggling for a while, you know, it might throw less necromorphs at you. I heard though, if you're doing really well, really destroying them, they might actually send more after you, and so it'll adapt to how you're playing. I had heard about, so that's something that's really cool.
God, hold the line. They all came back.
Ooh, she just gave me a new weapon. New weapons been added to use it. Add it to the weapon wheel. Really awesome. The pulse rifle weapon. I remember this one now. So now I'll be able to come back here if I want to. See, so you'll be able to select areas to bend to before, which is really cool. So now we're going to go to
flight deck trap control.
To the next section. Alright guys, I did want to show you some combat in the game too. So let's get into a battle. It does pay to explore all kinds of different areas so you can find different secrets and stuff. Now what's cool that they did with this is you have these circuit breakers and you can only power certain things, like maybe the lights, maybe you have to turn off the lights. Like I have powered the doors to open, but now I got to change it so I can power the elevators. So you only can power certain things. So now I got the elevator powered, I can actually come up here and continue on my mission. I love being able to slow them down on time, but you have to dismember them in order to kill. Oh shit, that's not bad. Just like in the original Dead Space, you can stomp on enemies to get them to drop health items or ammo. So those are your typical necromorph creatures. And I love that you can take their spike weapons off and use them on other necromorphs. Just want to give you guys a little taste of the combat end of the game. I think it's really awesome. If you love the original Dead Space, I highly recommend checking out. If you've never even played the original Dead Space, I would recommend checking this game out, especially if you're a fan of horror games. It's a really well crafted game. It's got a great crafted world, and I'm having an absolute blast with it. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that look at the Dead Space remake. You know, I had mentioned in that gameplay that this is actually a remake and not a remaster, so they completely rebuilt the game from the ground up. So it does control a little bit different than it did in the original 2008 version because it's a different engine. I did adjust the control scheme on it to play like the older Dead Space games because I was so used to the buttons being mapped differently. So I'm glad that they had that option, because when I was playing, I kept hitting the wrong button in combat and stuff and ended up dying because I was like, oh yeah, they changed the button. And so I went into the settings and saw, oh, I can adjust it. Really awesome. And I love the visual style. The game looks amazing in 4K on my 4K TV. The audio is done well. They got really good voice actors and stuff. I know some people complained about the character models being changed, but it wasn't a big deal to me. But they are a little bit different from what they look like in the old 2008 version. But still, they did a really fantastic job with this game. I highly recommend you guys check out the Dead Space remake. Just be aware, though, that it is only 9th gen, so you have to have a Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5 or the PC in order to play, because they did not make an 8th gen port of it, and I don't think they're going to, as how graphically demanding it is. The load times are amazing. It loads very fast, like with just in seconds. It loads you right into where you are, which is something that's really good. That's something I do love about modern games. But definitely think you guys should check out the Dead Space remake. It is awesome. I can't wait to beat it. And just like the original Dead Space games, it has New Game Plus mode, so you can't unlock all the upgrades and stuff that you could when you play the first time. And there's actually stuff for beating the game. You actually can unlock stuff. It does have a secret ending. The original game only had one ending. This one actually does have a secret ending. You have to collect certain stuff to get it, which is something cool. So I am looking forward to beating this game and then beating it again. And what's different from the original Dead Space, though, is you can actually, in your New Game Plus mode, you can actually play at a harder difficulty if you want, with all your upgrades and stuff to make it easier. Where the original one, I think you could only play New Game Plus in the same difficulty setting. So that's something that's really cool. Definitely think you guys should check out Dead Space. Let me know if you guys have played it before, what your thoughts are on it. I'd like to know about the games you guys are currently playing, and if you have a suggestion on a game you think I might enjoy playing, let me know, as I'm always looking for new games to play and experience. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see ya next time.